Hello, welcome to my channel, Crafty Fox DIYs. This video is part of the 12 Days of Christmas, and today's theme is Gingerbread Men. The hosts of the 12 Days of Christmas are Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY and Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World. I will have links to their channels as well as a link to the playlist so that you can get all kinds of Gingerbread Men DIY inspiration in the description box below. Okay, let's get into it. For this first DIY, I am going to be making a little easel. Well, both of these decorations are actually going to go on my tier tray, but this is a little easel. I got these as a 2-pack from Dollar General. And the first thing I'm doing here is painting a little wood gingerbread man that I got from Dollar Tree. And now I had printed off some letters on my Cricut, and I was going to put those on the easel. And I was using painter's tape to transfer the letters over, and for some reason they did not want to stick on this easel, so I just decided to scrap that idea and just use my white paint marker to write on the easel, and it just says fresh baked cookies. And then I'm going to also use my white paint marker to add some embellishments to my little gingerbread man. And then once I get him all decorated up, then I'm going to hot glue him to the easel. Okay, yep, there we go. And now he's on there. You know, of course I want to embellish the easel. I don't want it to just leave it plain like this. So I'm just going to cut some pieces off of a couple different pine picks that I have. I wanted to not use all the same, kind of have some variation, make it look more realistic. And I was going to glue them on the top, and then I realized this is an easel and that one part is going to come out, and so gluing some embellishments on there just may not work very well. So I decided instead that I would glue them on the bottom. I'm still going to put something on the top, and you'll see that here in a second, but it's just not the greenery and the berries, so I'm just gluing those on the bottom instead of gluing them on the top. Now I'm just going to pull a few berries off here, and I'm going to glue those on. I think I added a few more little pieces of greenery on there. Now I'm also just putting some hot glue on the greenery and the berries, just a little bit, and then I'm going to sprinkle some white glitter on top of the hot glue so it'll look snowy. And I like to do this over top of a plate or something so that way I can save the glitter. And now I have this little snowflake, and that's what I'm going to put on the top of the easel there. And then I'm going to test it to make sure that it's actually going to work, because I didn't want it to always have to be, you know, opened up. Like whenever I store it, I'll need it to close down. And then I'm also going to add some hot glue to the little gingerbread guy on his white little icing like parts, and then put some glitter on that. See how I, used the construction paper to get the glitter in my hand? And then once I get it on the gingerbread man, I'll also fold it back up the same way and dump it back into my container. Okay, now for DIY number 2, I have this bottle that was a vitamin bottle, and I'm going to turn it into sort of a lantern, more like a light, because it's not going to have, a hanger or anything like lanterns usually do. And then I have a little wooden gingerbread man ornament and this pretty gold, red, and green ribbon. And then my tea light fits right down inside of this bottle perfectly, and it goes down in there nice and smoothly. I'm able to access the light this way, and the lid even screws down on there perfectly with the light in there. So it's great. And then I'm going, after I get the light down in there and put the lid on, then I'm going to put this ribbon on. I'm going to put go around the top and the bottom of the bottle. I want to put the star at the back, so that way the seam, even though with this ribbon, the pattern that's on it, it isn't very visible, but I still like to, just out of habit, always go to the back to start my ribbon, so that way once it's displayed, then you won't see the seams. They won't be as noticeable. And then, like I said, I do that on the bottom as well, Start at the back, wrap around. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue around the front too, just to make sure it stays in place, and then secure it on the back side. Now I'm going to glue my little gingerbread guy onto the lantern. I believe he's holding like a, what I call a silicone spatula. That's what he's holding, yes. And then I had this little piece. I'm not sure where it came from, but it was in my stash, and it looks like a cookie to me, and it's the perfect colors, red and green. So I decided to glue that to the top of the lid to help, you know, disguise it. And then I also had this ribbon as the perfect gingerbread color, and it has Merry Christmas on it and some other little decoration in red. And so I'm going to use that to put around the lid to further disguise it, so it doesn't look so much like this is a plastic bottle, you know, that vitamins came in. So I'm going to glue that ribbon around the lid, and just the same as I did the ribbon that I glued around the bottle, I'm going to start at the back and work my way around and then finish it off in the back as well. I think I had to trim it off again because I still had it a little bit too long. There we go. And you can see how I'm able to take the lid off to access the light to turn it on, and then I could just take it off to access the light to turn it back off. Okay, let's take one final look at both of these projects. Okay, that's all for this video. Let me know which one of these cute gingerbread men DIYs was your favorite. Be sure to check the description box for the host channel's links, as well as a link to the playlist. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.